500.
Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
Pope Francis had a successful visit to Indonesia, a country of nearly 300 million people and the largest Muslim population in the world. The Pope received a very warm welcome from the crowds. Catholics in the country make up about 3% of the population, numbering around 8 million. On the first day of his visit, he was greeted by orphan children who are in the care of Catholic nuns in the country. On his second day, after a rest from the long flight, he gave his first speech at the presidential palace. The Pope delivered his first speech on September 4th. As he met with the country's authorities, he was welcomed by President Joko Widodo. He signed the Book of Honor. In his speech, he called for interreligious dialogue in order to foster a peaceful and fruitful harmony that ensures peace. On the same day, he also met with the youth, listening to their stories and stressed the need for dialogue and peace. He also held a meeting at the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Assumption with the bishops, priests, deacons, consecrated men and women, seminarians, and catechists. Pope Francis told them, "The language of the heart, do not forget it, and each has his own task to make the people of God grow." Understood? Pope Francis, on Thursday, September 5th, visited the Istiqlal Mosque in Jakarta, Indonesia, for an interreligious meeting in Southeast Asia's largest mosque. The Grand Imam, Dr. Nasiruddin Umar, gave the Pope a warm welcome. Together, they also visited the Tunnel of Friendship, which provides an underground walkway connecting the Istiqlal Mosque with the Catholic Cathedral of St. Mary of the Assumption, with a 3-lane highway in between. They also signed the Joint Declaration of Istiqlal 2024, highlighting that the values common to all religious traditions be effectively promoted to defeat the culture of violence and indifference and promote reconciliation and peace. In his meeting with charitable organizations on September 5th, Pope Francis said, "All of us are called to become, together, champions of love in the great Olympics of life." Pope Francis celebrated the closing Holy Mass in the Jakarta's Gelora Bung Karno soccer stadium, and the 87-year-old pontiff received a joyful welcome as he arrived. This papal mass was held on the third day of his 12-day visit to Asia and Oceania. More than 100,000 Catholics gathered inside the stadium and a nearby overflow arena to greet the Pope. There were the traditional shouts of "Viva il Papa" as the Pope made his way around the arena. He told the faithful, "Trust in Jesus. Do not grow weary of dreaming and building again a civilization of peace." He concluded by saying, "Have they told you that you are a smiling people? Do not lose your smile, please, and go forward, and be builders of peace, be builders of hope." The authorities in Indonesia arrested terrorist suspects planning attack on Pope Francis. 7 people in Indonesia were detained after a failed plot to attack the Pope during his visit to the country. Local media says the people were taken by police on September 2nd and 3rd in Jakarta, Bogor, and Bekasi. Spokesperson Colonel Aswin Siregar told reporters that investigations are still ongoing, and it is not known if the detainees knew each other or were part of the same terrorist group. There was also a threat to set fire to the locations, the media added. There was an attack on a church in France that caused a destructive fire, but the priest rushed in to save the Eucharist. In the night of Monday, September 2nd, the Church of the Immaculate Conception in Saint Omer, northern France, burned down completely. The fire reminded him of the fire at the Notre Dame de Paris Cathedral, says Reverend Sébastien Roussel to TF1 Info. The public prosecutor's office said that a 39-year-old suspect had been taken into custody on Monday evening. The man, who was born in 1985, has been known to authorities for similar acts in the past, Saint Omer public prosecutor Mehdi Ben Bouzid told AFP on Tuesday. The man, who had been living in a hostel before the incident, was interviewed on Tuesday morning. The investigation pointed to traces of forced entry into the church, where a stained glass window had been broken, said Ben Bouzid. The public prosecutor was considering a criminal charge of destruction of property by dangerous means because of the religious nature of the property. The individual allegedly broke into the premises, smashing a stained glass window. The suspect, identified as Joel Vigoureau, was convicted on numerous occasions of similar acts by fire in recent years. Father Roussel was woken up at around 4 a.m. on Monday morning by a call from the deputy mayor, who informed him of the disaster. "I went there immediately. Everything caught fire very quickly. The bell tower was burning like a torch." This is how Actu Pas-de-Calais quotes the priest. The firefighters allowed him to enter the building for a few minutes to save some things. "I wanted to evacuate the Blessed Sacrament, and he managed to do this. He was also able to save some statues. It is still too early to estimate the full damage," explains the priest. But he boldly says that reconstruction will probably take several years. He is still in shock, the priest explains. "It feels strange to think that we celebrated Sunday Mass there only the day before. What strikes me is an image, seeing the sky from inside through the collapsed roof, and also the emotions of the people. The church was built in 1859, survived 2 world wars, and was renovated just 6 years ago. The bell tower collapsed in the fire, and the building was badly damaged. In fact, only the foundation walls are still standing, as the central and transept aisles burned out. It is not yet possible to determine to what extent the foundation walls were permanently damaged by the fire, the heat, and the firefighting work. The organ burned down. Around 100 firefighters were deployed to the fire disaster. The community members and residents of the city are deeply shocked by the fire disaster. The footage went viral on the internet, and people were shocked. High-ranking politicians have also expressed their concern and sympathy.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to Catholic News World's channel. God bless.